All right, ladies and gents, welcome to the final best of 5 in Titans League Silver Deciders. We would have cast 8 at this point, or this is a horrible opening, but yeah, this will be my 8th cast is basically what I meant to say of the Deciders. It was initially going to be 9. If you didn't hear the sad news already, unfortunately, Whocl has been very sick, and we delayed things as much as humanly possible, and Overtaken was hugely flexible. But Whocl is still feeling ill, unable to play, so Whocl will not be playing Overtaken for that 9th series, and Overtaken will move on anyways to gold. Here we have Whocl, another player from Chile. So just thinking about things, as it stands, this will have small spoiler if you haven't seen some of the other best of 5, so quickly get to your mute button, okay? But there's already Sobek, who will be in gold for Season 2. He was in gold Season 1, and he stays in there. And then we had Whocl, another Chilean player, winning. And he now is going to be joining in gold. And now we have Whocl, where if he were to win, would be the 3rd Chilean player to be in that 25th to 48th in the world spot, which is pretty crazy. I don't know how many people live in Chile, but I don't think the population would be as high as some other countries. So that's wild stuff. But so we have Whocl, has been around a long time. Was the number 1 seed in this group, and a player who probably doesn't have as much name recognition as maybe some others, though he deserves it. And then we have Gabby, and Gabby I think people will know a lot more about. Gabby is the highest ranked female player in our scene by far. And not only that, but she's had this crazy improvement streak over this year. She was like 2100 for a very long time. Then on ladders been more around 2300. And a way that I described her in the past when I casted one of her sets is that she plays kind of like a tournament player in ranked games. Like a lot of people use the word tryhard as a negative, but yeah, she's a tryhard, right? Like she'll take every little win condition she can get. She can be really aggressive, and she's good. And she's got the Mongols here, so this is a really interesting opening. Mongols on the map with all this hunt should be the favorite. When I was doing my practice games, however, I really felt like Gurjaras were an awesome counter pick. I had played a couple practice games for Titans League, and I would give up Mongols. I would allow first pick, hope they'd take Mongols, and then I would go Gurjaras. And eventually, I feel like if you get to Shravamsharai or Camel, it's really difficult for the Mongols, but Mongols have so much potential to be aggressive in feudal, and I think that's what Gabby should have on her mind here. About 20 million people. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And they have other good players, too. Like, Noisik was a bit out of shape, but it's another Chilean player who did end up losing, I think, to Beery. But yeah, I've said this about Chile before. They've never really had a player that's been top 15, top 20, but they've always had tons of players within the top 100. More so than a lot of other bigger countries. So maybe things will change. I don't know. I think Whocl's like 21 or 22. So, if he sticks at it, maybe he could really rise through the ranks. And I know Whocl, I think, he's always been extremely talented. And I'll be excited to see him in gold, too. Sobek as well, man. If there's ever a country that should do like a cup of only players from their nationality, it should really be Chile because they have so many. And actually, fun fact, before we dive into this game, there was a Chile Cup back in 2016. And I think it had Whocl and Kraken or something. If you search Chile Cup or Chile 1v1 T90, go look at that video. I bet you it's a Scandinavia game. I think it was like Aztecs versus Spanish or something. Anyways, it was a very long time ago. So they did at one point have some type of event like that. But oh, wow. We're going to see Man-at-Arms from Gabby here, guys. This is not something that's extremely common. So she's going to try and break the meta a little bit. Look at how Whocl is playing this. He is full on expecting his opponent to go for scouts here. And, tried to trap her. No! Did Gabby see that? Oh my god. He deleted his town center. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. He deleted his town center. I guess he was trying to delete the gate. Oh my word. Gabby's going to see that now. And Gabby, just chill at this point. Don't worry about anything. Okay? Like, just chill. Don't actually remove the delete key from your keyboard so you don't do the same. Oh my god. Well, that should be game over, and that makes this series horrible for Whocl. He's just basically giving up the first game. Oh, man. I mean, okay, how crazy of a comeback would it be, though, if he wins? Needs to get Loom first. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so he dropped the gates. My guess is he went back to his TC to create a vill or do something. And then he tried to click the gate and delete, but he misclicked. He didn't click it, so the TC was still selected. Callus says, this is why you keep delete verification on. Well, my suggestion to the devs is that the delete verification thing is a really good idea, but you should have options for it. So, like, I would love to have delete verification for town centers and castles. But the problem is there's delete verification for a bunch of different things. Tower foundations. I think, like, monasteries. I forget exactly. But yeah, so a lot of players don't have delete verification on because there's a lot of instances, like, let's say you place a forward tower and it's at 10% and you decide you don't want to make that tower. If you delete that tower, the pop-up comes in. So players won't do it because of it affecting many other aspects of their play. And, like, how many times are you accidentally going to delete a TC? Gabby has won this game already. There's no way Gabby can lose this game at this level. There should be no way anyways. And any pressure that might have been on her will be lessened now, as she still hasn't killed a villager. But, I mean, look at the vill difference already. It really shouldn't be possible for Blue to come back from this one. Yeah. But, I mean, I think you're right. Like, I just want to explain the reasoning why players don't use the delete verification. And the reason they don't use the delete verification is because there's so many instances where they have to delete certain things, certain foundations, where that pop-up slows them down. If it was toggleable for certain certain types of buildings, it would absolutely be used for TCs, right? Like, TCs and castles would be awesome. If I could have it for just TCs and castles, I'd have it on. Yeah. Obviously, they haven't said anything, which is kind of funny. They haven't acknowledged it, even though they both know. Gabby hasn't even killed a unit yet, which is pretty wild. And, I mean, I should be critical of her, I guess. Like, you should have killed something at this point, but still working off a 7 eco lead. And she's completely surrounding her opponent. And, you know, disaster start for Whocl. This is the worst start to a tournament series I think I've ever seen, actually. Have we ever seen anything this bad? I've seen some pretty shocking moments. Like, I remember a series with Whocl versus Doubt from years back where he shot his boar with his TC, and then he was missing 4 sheep, and then he just resigned. But he didn't delete his TC. Whocl just trying to hold on here. He actually hasn't lost a unit yet. Like, what is happening right now? If he comes back from this, Gabby might just be like, all right, admin win. I don't want to play the rest of the games. Obviously, she'd never do that. Okay, now she's finally getting some kills. I mean, Whocl's doing an amazing job considering what has happened here. But, I mean, Gabby should reach Castle Age faster and still has lots of potential to do some crazy things here. Man-at-Arms will be fought off by the Vills. The Skirms are just waiting for any archers. A lot of players would have switched into scouts from here. Gabby doesn't seem to have a lot of interest in that. That's true. Yo's game in Wandering Warriors, where it was like a 2-minute game. But there were other factors at play there. I think the other factor in that was he was not playing on his setup at home. But yeah, that's another instance of a pretty disappointing one. That was also at a really important stage, right? Yeah, Gabby's walled in a stone, walled in a gold. Gabby will have archers and could reach Castle Age shortly. She honestly has played very safe. She hasn't played near as Like, look, she's using the market to up. It's pretty crazy when you could have, like, full control of all the hunt. Like, I would have taken that as an opportunity to just hunt both sides like a crazy person, but... I was going to say mad man, but then there's like, oh, we've got a woman here. So I say mad woman? I guess if I'm doing it, it's a madman, so... But yeah, she's on the way to Castle Age now. Resources collected in this game. Much higher for her, as you would expect. Just had more villagers working. And it could be knights, it could be step lancers, it could be a combination of both. As Gabby loops in on this left-hand side and is just looking to control this series with an easy win in the first game. I would have probably made a comment, but that's just the caster in me. It's probably good that she didn't say something. And just kind of let it roll. And I mean, I would have said something if I was blue as well. I'm just a talkative guy. I would have used a taunt or something. But no chatter about it. Business continues as usual. And we've got the scout heading this way to maybe clear up some skirmishers. And it's just one scout. I mean, I haven't been super... I've been a little underwhelmed with what Gabby has accomplished thus far ever since the bad thing happened for Whocl, but she's still in an amazing position and should win this game for so many different reasons. I just do not think you can ever come back from this. I would prefer to delete 5 villagers while on the way to feudal than have what happened here. Like, it's genuinely worse to have lost the town center halfway to feudal and then have to rebuild it. Gabby's going to have knights coming forward. Crossbow upgrades in. Siege Workshop's going to be built right next to Whocl's base. Keep in mind, he cannot take any other gold. Like, this is the only gold. Also, doesn't have the stone for another town center because of having to rebuild one earlier. Skirmishers here are getting some decent value, but now you've got the scouts on this side with the crossbowmen. Still no bodkin arrow, but this is going to lead to multiple villager kills and being pushed off of gold. There's the villager finally for the siege workshop for Gabby. And kind of a bummer start to the series, guys, if you want a close set. Obviously, if you're rooting for one player in particular, and maybe this is good, but or bad, but just not the start to a series you would want. I'm a little disappointed by that, but obviously it can only get more competitive from here. Whocl's a fighter, really doesn't want to give it up here. And he's probably in that, oh my god, how am I not dead yet mode. Like, I wish I wouldn't have deleted my town center, because it feels like if it would have been even, I would have been really good in this game. And Gabby's now killed 4 villagers. She's dropping the second town center to extend her lead even further. There's the TC all the way over here from Whocl. But we'll have very little army. We'll only have a few skirmishers that won't even be elite for a while. And, like, Gabby's point of view will allow her to see this if she looks. And I do like this. I like how she's making houses. That's actually going to give her vision over these resources. And she could just delete one of her walls here and send the knight in. This should not be a concern for her. Just double delete there and she's in with the knight. And the crossbows will be right behind. Over here, Gabby has to be careful with her crossbows. Okay. Whocl getting some pickoffs. And he has a sneaky TC. I mean, he's alive. It's not well, but he is alive. And finally, we have a ram from Gabby. Oh, man. Okay, there's only 2 sheep in that mill. I was curious on that one. But yeah, it seems like Gabby just isn't really going for the kill. Is just going to extend her lead a little bit more. Could have gone for the kill earlier, but sometimes, like, if you're a player who isn't good with all-in pressure or your opponent's really good at defending from it, you committing everything to kill somebody could actually be bad for you in the long run. And so adding the town center for more eco is definitely the play. And it's just been very relaxed play from Gabby. Nothing crazy. The only thing is that she doesn't actually see that town center. So she doesn't know that there's villagers over there. She just thinks that Whocl is completely dead and is stuck inside here. And to be fair, like, Whocl is completely dead regardless. There's no way that he can make military to stop this. And if Gabby were to actually go for mangonels, which I think I'd prefer, the mangonels would take out the TC here. I mean, Whocl, I don't know. He might be tilted, man. Like, I'm a little bit worried for the guy, right? Like, I think it's realistic here to just say, well, that sucked and call the GG and just tap out. Like, continuing to play, I know it's game 1 of a tournament. But at what point do you begin to worry for the person's mindset if they continue like this? And you got to shake it off, right? And sometimes shaking it off means playing on a little bit more. But no issues for Gabby, as she's still just making some knights with some rams. She's exerting dominance over the opponent who gave her a gift, and there's the GG. So let's see. We know exactly what happened, but I'm still curious on if it's possible that he accidentally selected the gate and the TC at the same time. No. Oh, God. He then deleted the Vil, too. Holy crap. So, that was a double misclick. TC. Oh, God. TC and then the villager. And the villager's just unfortunate, right? Because the villager was on top of the gate foundation, but wow. All right, well, anyways, GG. Congratulations to Gabby for winning the first game. There could not be a worse start to a series if you're Whocl, but certainly the next game should be stronger than that, and that puts him under pressure. That's just giving up a win in a best-of-5 against the highest level competition here that he could face up against in his group, as Gabby's moved through everybody else pretty easily. All right, so painful start to the series for Whocl, who deleted his town center in the Dark Age, and that pretty much lost him the game. So we don't know how good this guy's going to be. But he went for Fortified Clearing, a map that I'm a little surprised to see him pick. But I wonder if some of this is because Gabby really likes her Arabia. Maybe this is kind of a counterplay to her style. Again, game 1, she played well, but it was a gift of a game, right? So I can't really say like, oh my God, she's a beast on land maps, so he had to go for Fortified Clearing. Yeah, she's great on land maps. Fortified Clearing, though, must have been drafted ahead of time with some purpose. And it definitely feels like we will see a lot of gunpowder here. This matchup normally is unique unit versus unique unit. We could see someone try and change it, though, because on Fortified Clearing, you've got openings on the back side. So there's an opportunity to go aggressive back there if you wish to. The last time that I saw the matchup, it was John Slow versus Levi in round 2. John Slow was Turks. And I feel like Turks with a fast imp are just so good against Spanish, but John Slow had a disaster castle spot and ended up losing that game. I don't know how many of you guys actually watched that, but it was unique unit versus unique unit. We saw Conquistador versus Janissary. Do you think he turned on safe delete in between games? Nope, because it's really annoying and it doesn't help you in most scenarios. I think he's just not going to delete his TC again. But again, I personally think it would be really helpful as a player, and this might not apply to most players, which is why the devs might never prioritize it. But the reason high-level players won't have safe delete on is because it applies to so many things that they do actually need to like delete and remove at times. And I think that if they could make it so safe delete only applied to certain things, or like the player could customize what was safe delete and what was not, I think everybody would suddenly use it at the top level for things like TCs and castles. So it's a bit of a shame, I guess, right? Because like for most of you, you're probably like, well, come on. I mean, just use it. But again, it's the amount of times you're going to run into a problem. It is really frustrating to have on. As someone who tried to have it on after I deleted something, so. Yeah, hopefully no more TCs get deleted here. Don't want to see that. I want to see the games be close. But what will Gabby do to stop the Janissary here? Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be it'd be horrible for Whocl if it was a best of 3. Best of 5s are a little less punishing in that way. And so there's not going to be as much pressure on him. And I personally prefer his civilization if it plays into unique unit. But does Gabby want that? So you see, the Janissary play, it tends to be good enough with a couple monks to dominate the castle age. Yes, the conquistadors can be faster and be more mobile on a map where there's openings on the sides. But if you're just pushing through the middle, which is what, you know, I think both players will aim to do here, because unique units, you normally make the castle in front of your base. I think the additional range for the Janissaries is preferable to the potential HP for the Conquistadors. Because if it's post-imp, man, are those Conquistadors strong. But it's all about kind of getting a position, dropping that next castle, and going fast Imperial Age into bombard cannons and trebuchets. Now, I say all these things, and you don't necessarily have to play Turks into a unique unit. I personally think that that's a really good play. But you also could go for Light Cav to dominate the relics. So that's kind of the crazy thing about Turks. It's like, Light Cav to dominate relics, and boom, and going into Hussars and Cav Archers later is also super, super strong. Walling here from Whocl. And Gabby sent the scout down to the south, and probably is realizing now that that must be walled, because she probably clicked the scout beyond. Yeah. So the scout path backwards, and now she's doing small clicks. She wants to see what there is here, but if she were to do a big click, the scout would run back the other way because there's no opening here. You think Viper plays with a mod like that? I don't think it's a mod. I don't think that is moddable, like you know, like small trees or anything like that. But if it is, please let me know. Okay, little small walls from Gabby. This is an approach a lot of players have been using. I really like it, actually. Because by the time you determine what your opponent's going for, you either can wall this way later, which is better for your economy, or you can just, you know, it keeps you safe. And then you can just leave. Like, even if you don't want to wall, you're like, oh, he's playing into a castle unit? Perfect. Glad I didn't wall my whole map on the sides. And then you can just send your villagers out anyways. What elo is this? They're both around 2300, 2200, 2300. Depending on the day. I've seen both of them at 2300. Whocl tends to have the higher ranking. But Gabby she's been up there. I think Whocl might have even been 2400, actually. He's a crazy player, and he's doing what I expected here. And he's going to stone, and he's also going to be safe and wall up the side. And Gabby just has her scout here attacking the house, which is not a play I love. Would prefer that maybe the middle was scouted. But Whocl's not really scouting the middle either right now, and is scouting the sides. There's actually 3 relics in the south. This can happen. There's only 1 in the north, and then there's 5 in the middle here. Yeah, that's true. Viper deletes his TC. Viper's deleted his TCs a lot. Maybe he did it enough times where he was just like, I need to have the safe delete on. Is Castle Age Skirms good counter to Janissaries? Yes, it's a nice addition. But at this level, it is opening yourself up to being countered by Janissary Mangonel. And then what do you do, right? Like, Janissary Mangonel basically has no Castle Age counter. It's really strong. So, you know, you're correct in saying that Skirmishers are a good addition against Janissary, but players at this level are like, oh, you added Skirms? Great, you spent how many resources to get Elite Skirmisher, make the Skirmishers, and get the Blacksmith upgrades? Great, I'll just add 1 Mangonel with my Janissaries, and then you're in trouble. Ooh. Okay, scout there from Whocl. Did he see the stone? He did see the stone. He also attacked Gabby's villager. Gabby's now going to bring the scout back home. That'll be interesting because this here is, this scout is now weaker. But it will also be a light cav in Castle Age. So Whocl will not want to find Gabby's scout. And he should be able to notice that Gabby left this house. So I wonder if he's just going to, is he going to hide? That's actually kind of funny. It seems intentional, right? But yeah, he's just going to sit there and patrol on the hill. So at least if Gabby comes this way, that scout will get a hill hit. All right, so I would not suggest a castle forward if you're either player. For Gabby, obviously she doesn't have the intel to know that the opponent is going to go for a castle. But you don't want to walk forward if you're Turks, because Spanish build faster. So if they're going for a castle and they see your castles here, they're just going to build faster right next to you. And they can send more villagers than you too, and they don't have to walk across the map. Skirm and Mangonel. Skirm and Mangonel wouldn't work because Janissaries can one-shot Mangonels and Skirms can't do that. So they would just, the Janissary player would take out your Mangonel and then suddenly your Skirms are all exposed. Now, we're talking lower economy too, right? When it gets to like 100 plus villagers, Janissary Mangonel has counters. Yeah, you could just spam a lot of cav, for example, and I could go down the list of things you can do. But it's all about the low eco, getting the timings, and getting the position with these unique unit plays. And clearly this is going to be all about the middle for Whocl, who has the light cav, what will be a light cav soon, sorry, over here. And we'll look at Gabby's scouting. Gabby hasn't gone to the middle at all. And then if you look at Whocl's scouting, Whocl also hasn't really looked at the middle. I would like to see the castle here. That way you could take additional gold. So I don't know how many of you guys know this, but I was actually in this group. I was feeling pretty confident too. I ultimately thought I would be up against Gabby and ultimately, had big hopes for myself. And I played up against a player who killed me twice with all-in unique unit play with gunpowder. And I was up against Turks, and I was Burgundians on this map. And there's Gabby's castle. I like it, but it doesn't protect the gold. But anyways, so this guy was insane. And he did exactly what I just said. So basically, because Turks mine gold faster, he had castled that gold, and then he had like maybe 30 villagers on gold at one point and only 10 on food. And it was just monks, janissaries to control the middle, castle forward, and then fast imp. And even though I had an eco lead of like 50 villagers, I just kept losing everything and lost my entire map. Is it really... I gotta give the guy credit. Obviously, he's still kind of disappointed in myself about the whole thing, but he really taught me how insane tossing 30 villagers on gold can be. Whocl's not doing that. Like, he's got more of that traditional eco approach, which makes sense because of the type of player he is. But we're going to have monks coming out for relics. Still very surprised that... Did he lose the... Oh, here it is. Okay, so the light cav has now come home. And this castle's close enough to the gold. This could be a worrying sign, though, for Gabby. The janissaries can all range gold from here. So I'm not the biggest fan of her castle spot, though it does give her good range over this region. The Conks will have more HP, but they have 6 range. And they have 1 less base attack. They don't have that much more HP at this stage. They obviously have more mobility as well. But if you think about how monks work, right? Monks are 9 range. So it's easier to use an 8 range unit to snipe monks than it is a 6 range unit. And I think that's going to end up being an important talking point here, as both players are trying to use their starting scouts. And we probably won't see the second town center too early for either player. Could be wrong. But both the unique units cost food and gold. And they also have to put a lot of micro into this. I think right now I'd prefer Whocl's position because the scout over here is still full HP. And this scout probably can't dive in. But the monk doesn't get a conversion. And just like that, Gabby feeling pretty good. Gabby's actually done a much better job producing the conks all the time. 13 farms. Just now 13 farms. Oh man, Gabby, that's a really good fight. 2 kills for Gabby so far. Whocl's got to be careful. Like, look at the unit queue. Gabby, if I had a stat for idle castle time, wouldn't have very much right now. And so numbers, also the mobility has looked good. It is important to note that Gabby didn't add a monastery to get relics, as she gets another snipe. There will be 2 relics for Whocl, so that's going to add up, obviously. Be very helpful. And Gabby just insistent upon attacking all the time. Getting some amazing snipes, and we'll get another one too. Holy, she's dominating right now. All right, so I mean, that is the perfect start for her. I don't think she'll really complain much about how things have gone for her so far, right? She won the first game. That was a gift. Second game now, on the opponent's home map, 6 kills, 0 deaths. There is a stat for idle castle time. Is it here? Where is that? I don't think there is. Unless it's like standard capture age. I probably don't have it. Maybe it's a new thing that I didn't know about. Well, the town center makes sense after you've lost that many units. So now Whocl's thinking, well, all right, well, I need more economy. Also, I would make a house here because Gabby, I mean, she shouldn't run through in most cases, but it's Gabby, dude. Like, she'll see that as an opportunity, and she'll be like, you won't expect this. I want to kill something. Oh, man, that's an interesting situation now, isn't it? I mean, this wall could also be picked off pretty quickly. Still no relics for Gabby, but I think she's going to go fast imp with the forward castle. Here she's got a scout looking for any monks, and I think she'll be happy to see that the Janissaries are here, because then she can definitely get that castle up. This monk shouldn't go down. Oh my god, those things missed. I can't believe they all missed there. That's going to be frustrating for Whocl. Lost the monk. Great job from Gabby, though, with the scout. She knew exactly what the situation was here, right? She knows the opponent's going for relics. And Gabby's looking so good. She kills another monk. And now she's in the driver's seat here. Remember what I was talking about with Turks? Well, Turks didn't dominate the middle. This is where you bring the villagers forward if you're Gabby. You drop the castle right about here, and you go for trebuchets. And it just conks and trebs from here. Will be relics for Whocl, but they're going to be right behind the castle. Gabby's micro's been sick this game. And it's hard to say. I think part of it for Whocl was lack of numbers. Like, he was fighting with 4 Jans versus, like, 6 conks, which is never good. But I think he actually was trying to get the relics too early. Sometimes you want to have the monks with your Janissaries, and that can make all the difference. Because now Gabby has to think twice about ever going in to get shots, right? Now, if this castle gets denied, it could be game over. You absolutely cannot let this castle get denied. God, Gabby's micro is so good. She does lose a conk there. I think you've got to drop this castle fast if you're Gabby. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Okay. Conks are holding their own here, aren't they? Monks have gone down. Janissary's microing. When's the castle going to go up for Gabby? Whocl has more villagers. There's going to be the castle. Oh, God. Oh, no. It was going so well. If there were 2 monks here, this castle would not go up. Oh, no. Oh, Gabby. This is exactly what happened to Jon Slow, except the roles were reversed as far as the civs are concerned. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Ripperoni, no. Gabby's in trouble, man. She is Spanish, so she could build faster. But if the castle doesn't go up, it's game over. Like, she absolutely has a chance if the castle goes up. 80%, 85, 90. Ah! Ah! 98%, no! Oh. Makes it to Imp and can't make a Treb. And, like, Imp doesn't make a difference for the conks. Imp doesn't make a difference unless you can make Trebs. You have to camp this, though, if you're Whocl. You do not let any villagers get close to this. You stand in front of it. Not to the side, in front of it. This is going to be so funny, though. Like, if this castle ends up going up, could actually still be very stressful for Whocl. They're Spanish builders, so they don't need many hits. You know that you have a massive lead now, so you just go for the vills. Oh, they didn't fire! They didn't fire! Ah! It's up! Now what? I think you ram it. I think you have to ram it. Gabby's gonna have a Treb that she's brought over here now. She's gonna have to, like, Treb it from over here. 28 villagers. And Whocl is just gonna click up to Imp. I think what Whocl needs to do is add stables and not rely on Janissaries now. Oh, no. Move it away. Move it away. Move it away. Move it away. Oh, God. Now it's out in the open, though. Oh, God. You just can't, like, have this Treb be safe now. Well, I absolutely prefer Whocl's position. But I was just thinking that in the event that he continues to try and rely on Janissaries, he might still lose his castle. So I think going for stables, like, just to snipe the Trebs would be very helpful here. But Fast Imp Treb is very strong. Like, if she would have taken better fights there and got the castle up without losing the vills, I would have preferred her position. Also, it looks like she took some losses over here. But as long as Whocl keeps some Janissaries alive and mixes in a couple other things, Whocl is going to be completely fine here. But that castle is definitely going to go down, I think. Like, the two, at the very least, you're going to sink 600, 700 stone into repairing it. You're still very far away from Imp. Now, she can't really clear these Janissaries yet because they still have more range. Again, would have loved to have seen a ram or two from Whocl, but it looks like he's actually very light on wood at the moment. And it's actually very inefficient, this wood eco. And he's just continuing to make Janissaries. 31 vills for Gabby, who actually still needs to defend this. And Whocl needed this, man. You could see what Gabby was trying to do. But unfortunately, the Janissary range and a couple of the monks ended up making the difference there. And yeah, that castle's gone down. Whocl is moving the relics back home. And can now take the trebs, actually. Could actually move out and kill these trebs. I'm not sure. It seems like it's a nerve-wracking moment for him, having to add quite a few houses. Having to move the relics back. Having to micro with this army, which Gabby's now going to go chase. Taking some stone there. That's interesting, right? Hasn't really had a lot of stone income, but did buy stone to make for a new castle. Just still 70 villagers versus 33. Gabby has 8 conks. And 8 conks beat 12 Janissaries. It actually will be 10 soon. We're going to see more and more monks, it looks like, for Whocl. Gabby's committed, by the way. Like, Gabby should absolutely continue with trebs and conks and not stop. You cannot tech switch in these situations. You've got 35 vills. And you really can't take losses. And Whocl knows that. Still has horrible wood eco. It's stressing me out looking at this wood economy. Really just needs to buy wood for a new lumber camp right now. But I think it's the stress of these situations. And if you haven't played in it, it's kind of hard to explain. But I really like the monk choice. I would like to see block printing on the monks. I think Turks do get that. But that would just allow you to get more conversions from distance. And block printing would pretty much make it impossible for Gabby to ever push. Do you add a stable for bloodlines at this point? No, I don't think so. It's better to have 2 conks than 2 more conks than it is to get bloodlines, I think. Well, nah, I don't know. I mean, her eco's just so bad. If she had 300 wood, yes. But yeah, I mean, bloodlines would obviously be a nice addition. But I think numbers more than anything matter the most. Whocl's most definitely under pressure right now. You could tell that there's some stress and concern about this. But is also playing very relaxed. Has killed 26 villagers, has lost 0, has 5 relics on the map. There's still potential to get more too. And Gabby just can't push out. And she can't move, so it's like she just has to wait for conk numbers. Are you sure Turks don't get block printing? I mean, I imagine he would have researched it if they did. But I could have sworn they got block printing. I guess I should have more faith in him. And that he would have noticed it and clicked it by now. It feels like most civilizations get block printing, so it's an interesting one. But, okay, I believe you. Okay, here come these conks. 17 conquistadors. Man, can Gabby commit? But she has to be careful she doesn't run too far in here. And now she has to leave. Whocl knew it, so didn't even flee with the villagers. And Whocl is just waiting for trebs. I think you wait for about 4 trebs, and then you finish off this game. You let out a big sigh. A crazy sigh of relief, and you're happy it's 1-1 and move on in the series. It's still... I don't want to say it's still winnable for Gabby, but in the event that she clears this army, it could be game over. So, like, if Whocl missed micros and doesn't get a couple conversions, you never know. But Gabby has to engage now, because there will be trebuchets here. And so blue will only be looking here. Both players should be focusing here. Okay, the villagers are going to be pulled for repairs on the trebs, because Gabby's using trebs against trebs. And the monks are there. Gabby will see them. I think if you're Gabby, there's bloodlines for you. I think you just kind of had to fight there if you had any chance in this game. Running away is only because she knows that she's going to lose the fight. So it's tough. Like, you kind of... That's your best chance to fight. Running away doesn't make it any better for you, but... You can also understand why she wouldn't want to run into a losing fight. Yeah. And this should be game over at this point. 3,000 gold. Great recovery from Whocl. Like, it looked like Gabby had the proper position. But for Gabby, the micro let her down. And I think the castle position was way too bold as well. It was right where the Janissaries could snipe the villagers. I would have preferred to see it further back. And those monks are looking for conversions. They'll probably find a couple of them. And then the Janissaries will be there as well. And then you also have a castle drop. You also have the Trebs that are going to go after Gabby's other castle. And Gabby will be forced to call the GG here. Great recovery from Whocl. It looked like he was going to go down 2 games if Gabby got that castle up. And it was just too ambitious of a castle. And I think Gabby thought, oh my god, I completely understand her thinking because she had killed everything. And at 6-0 KD at that point, so she felt like she would have more army. But when the fight happened, I'm trying to see when that was. Okay, so right here, this is when it was amazing for Gabby. So I'm trying to see, did she stop making conks to go imp? Yeah, you see this? So she actually stopped making conquistadors. This is such a tricky balance, right? It was 11 versus 4 with the gunpowder units. Now it's 10 versus what's about to be 10. And then when the castle actually is happening, it's then 12 versus 10. So she just cut production. And then she also didn't have any monks, which could have helped with any conversions. And if she would have delayed her Imperial Age a little bit longer and had maybe 15 conquistadors, she wins that fight no problem. The castle goes up. And even though she's lower economy, she would have been in a good position to push there. So it's really complicated. Yeah, Whocl also at the same time had a couple of those Janissaries over here. Killed 2 villagers, so maybe it distracted her. But ultimately a really good game. Oh, God. Ultimately a really good game from Whocl. A clutch castle denial there. And we have ourselves a close series. Okay. Malay for Gabby here. And this is one of her home maps, guys. Actually, is it her home map? Let me check real quick. Okay, I just wanted to double check that. Because for some reason I had thought that maybe it was a Whocl map that she wanted to play. The first game, we saw a TC get deleted. The second game, we saw a castle get denied. It's been an interesting series. And we have Dravidians for Whocl, which we've seen many times on Houseboat over this event. And then a Malay, which has been a Houseboat favorite for Gabby. And I think if I had to choose one, I would choose the Malay. But Dravidians are definitely in that conversation along the lines of like Japanese. We've seen other picks as well. Little surprised to see no Mayans or no Chinese here, but I don't recall exactly what the draft looked like. It's very possible because they both had 3 bans that those were banned out here. And wow, they are just as close as we saw Lan and Philip be earlier. Maybe a little bit further away than that. But pretty close generation here as we see both players trying to find out exactly how they want to play this. For the Dravidians, what's nice is that your docks count as a house as well, so you don't actually have to build a house right now. You could wait for a dock. What I find is I always have to make the house at 15 pop, but maybe my builds are a little bit off. Now, it looks like this is going to be fine for Whocl. Malay advanced faster to the next stage, which ends up being really important. And yeah, okay, so there's going to be a house for Whocl. Anyways, it's not that big a deal. You're still going to get the extra pop space later, so. Not an easy map to play, of course, as you have to transport things to and from the shoreline. I like this from Gabby, though, as she's found a couple extra sheep, and she's going to take them underneath the TC for when the fish are finished. And the correct play is to always dock the outer ring because there's additional box turtles then you can take. So in this case, that's an extra 400 food. Absolutely love Whocl's position after the dock goes up because he'll be able to freely make fishing ships. It's sometimes really complicated to produce out of a TC and the dock all the time and then get your wood for the houses. Like, if he had 20 pop space right now, which he would do if he was any other civ, he's got a villa on the way, a fishing ship on the way, and he wants to make another fishing ship, but he would need to make a house too, right? So the timing on everything is really awkward around 20 pop. And we might actually see that from Gabby's perspective here in a second. We'll pay attention to it. So she's actually going to get her first fishing ship out. Okay, first fishing ship. Now she needs a house, and the house is already on the way up. But it's like kind of tight timing, which is why I like the Dravidian builds a lot. Gabby banned Britons, Vikings, and Mayans. Okay. Not bad bans. Civilization she might not want to play with. She's not the biggest archer player. She's more of like a Knight Siege Boom type of player. Kind of similar to my style, so I respect that. But obviously she can do everything. Malay also have a lot of dock vision, which can be very helpful if you want to see if your opponent is docking your water, which we might see both players try and do here. I could definitely see the Malay trying to do that because they could abuse their, or use their faster uptime. And look at this from Whocl. So he's going to try and get a second dock up on the shorefish here, I think. Or maybe a mill. It's a bit weird, right? Because he just added a fourth fishing ship. I don't think this is exactly how he would have wanted this to go. I think if he had sheep underneath his TC, he would be using that. But he wasn't able to really find any. And so that slows this down. And this might end up being... Well, actually, I would like to see a second dock, but yeah, it's going to end up being a mill. And wow, Gabby's up already. Holy crap. Sheesh. What is this uptime? Gabby's going to be up at 8.5 minutes. I know it's Malay, but still. She should absolutely rush the dock down with this timing. And then more villagers heading this way for Whocl, probably just to make a lumber camp. And there goes Whocl on the way up. Not a bad build, not a bad time. But... will Whocl be able to stop this? You've got a problem, right? Like, if Gabby sees your scout, Gabby's going to kill your scout. You cannot stop this dock from coming up. But this is really all in from Gabby, right? She's not going for double lumber camp, which adds efficiency. She's just going to YOLO it all on one lumber camp and get that dock up ASAP. And oh, there goes Whocl as well. So he's going to try the same thing. Scouting on this is important. And wait a second. Whocl spotted it. Or maybe even sensed it because of the uptime. And is going to try and fight off the vills. Very rarely. Very rarely do I see this actually work out. And normally that dock's already going to go up. Or the villager just gets walled in. You can kill the villagers, though. Which is actually helpful because you don't want the villagers to be able to repair for the enemy. But I think the correct play in Whocl's position is to actually make a dock at home now. Because you can go 2 docks against 1 and hopefully be okay here. So I really like that decision. I also really like how Whocl refuses to lose the scout. 22 HP versus 28. The Malay player is already in feudal, though. And now they're both in feudal. And there's the second dock now from Gabby. Man, this is going to be interesting. Whocl really wants to kill that scout. Doesn't want to lose the zone. We'll go to the hill now. Will Gabby pay attention to that? Wow, that's epic. That is epic from Whocl. Oh my god. Everything he's had to do here has been so high pressure and high stress. And he's managed it pretty decently. Now, he still could lose the transport ship. But he's going to try his best to save the transport. Nope. He's not going to save that. But I don't think it'll be completely horrible for him. Sorry. Because he can kind of defend himself on water. He's got a lot of wood. I wonder if he'll go forward and try and dock Gabby now. Gabby should have the vill lead because Gabby can actually produce villagers and send them to work right now. Whereas all Whocl's looking at is this. And Gabby going for a third dock. Oh, man. Not having that transport ship hurts so much. There's so much wood right now for Whocl. He did such a good job with the scout. But this villager's just come back, and you could tell that Whocl's desperate to stop this from getting out of hand. There is a villager making a run to Gabby. This is the villager that gives Whocl a chance back into this game. Now, I played a game. Highly suggest you watch it. I think there's a cast where Dave casted it when I played against naval. Game 3 in a best of 3 on this map. I lost my transport ship twice. But this map somehow gives you opportunities to come back in games when you don't think there's an opportunity. And this is the way to do it. And Gabby, not only does she only have 1 dock at home, but it's going to be 2 docks from the opponent. And that's a beautiful demo there as well from Whocl. So he's going to be behind in vills. It's going to be bad. But if he can take out the fishing ships from Gabby and take out Gabby's transport, this all just, it becomes the same problem for her. Just houseboat things, by the way. As that is a nice little split from Whocl. Pretty good defense there. Okay. This is where someone gets rocked by a demo because they're not focused on that area at that current time. And that's a nice demo there from Gabby. Now, what I found in my moments of terror is all the villagers you create, you could actually garrison them in the TC, and the arrow fire helps. But yeah, still no second dock from Gabby. Look at her wonder efficiency. Look at her eco efficiency. It's kind of messy, right? Whereas this and this, well, I guess there's not a lot of it. Even the food income here, like all that's pretty good for Whocl. Oh, man, dude. And we even have a barracks? Could we see late man-at-arms, possibly? Because it's Dravidians with the cheap barrack technologies? There's the transport. There's the transport. There's the fishing ships. It's going to be 3 fires soon over here. We've got the repairs. Not really doing enough there for Whocl. And it's so tough for Whocl because he needs to defend himself. But he's trying to attack, and he's going to lose his water now, guys. So he has to win Gabby's side. Gabby lands a really important demo. I think Gabby should actually stop producing from the front for a moment and produce at home. Everything needs to be at home, including maybe even extra docks. Because if you defend this now, I think you win the game. Massive build difference. I didn't realize how crazy it was. 40 seconds of TC idle time for Gabby. Well, she's actually defended pretty nicely here. We'll lose the transport, but... how's it going over here for Whocl? Oh, big demo, actually. And there's another one, too. Oh, my goodness. That could kill 3 ships. There's villagers here now. We've got spearmen and skirmishers. Forgot about the land aggression that could come in. And so Gabby's adding a barrack. She doesn't know what to do against spearmen and skirms. The demo from her, though, lands on the vills and also hit the ship. That's the perfect demo. And I'm pretty underwhelmed by the whole trash strategy, but it is awkward and hard to deal with. Also, Gabby's got 0 on food, and Whocl has 1 on food, and Gabby does the right thing and just drops a tower. This eco is horrible for both players. I'm actually very curious on resources collected. Let me pause real quick and just check that. That's not a lot. For having this big of a lead with eco, that is not a lot. That's pretty crazy. That tells you how inefficient things have been for Gabby, and it will likely only continue to be that way. Like, when do you see 38 eco versus 23 and think that one player actually, the player with 23 still has a chance? Not very frequently. Also could see villagers picked off here from the ship, so you've got to get out of here if you're Whocl. Gabby still has to worry about the docks at her base, and is very cramped. Like, hasn't scouted any of this, so isn't taking food elsewhere. Whocl, though, is getting close to having to delete the town center. It's going to try and sneak these villagers across in a couple trips on the transport. Okay, skirms and spearmen. There's a new transport for Gabby. Skirms and spearmen can kill vills. I mean, it's something. Dravidian skirmishers fire faster, which is a deceiving little upgrade. Quick, Whocl, be quick with it. Be faster. Okay, they got 1 shipment across. Gabby's gonna see this transport. I want to see a massive demo here from Whocl. This would be a perfect opportunity. There's actually gonna be 2. Oh my god! I didn't expect it to be that crazy. And then we have another one that could happen. That one wasn't quite as good. Holy moly, man. Meanwhile, a villager's dying here. Fishing ship goes down for Gabby, who still has horrible food economy. They both have horrible economies, man. And Whocl's not giving up. That TC just shot a demo. Is repairing the dock now. Is still keeping an eye on Gabby, who's now kind of out of gold, so has to go over here for gold, which is out in the open. There's still production here as well from Whocl. This is a ridiculous game. Gabby obviously has the lead, right? Gabby is in a position to, I think, win this game, but Whocl just won't go away. 36 villagers versus 29. We'll wait and see if maybe Gabby has to give up a little bit on her with her attack on the front. Sorry for all the dinging, by the way. That is, unfortunately, it just comes with the territory with these types of games. Okay. 47 pop versus 38. I feel like whoever wins this game wins the series, right? It's like so close. It's so important. It's so crucial to get that all-important third game. The repairs there from Whocl were wonderful. As he's still attacking over here. And Gabby's got to fight it off with Vils, which means all these little clicks all the time. Just super annoying. And villagers repairing docks and ships and everything. And running after skirms and spearmen. And it's a crazy life these villagers lead. Crazier life than mine, that's for sure. 7-7 on the Eco KD. Transport is out for Whocl, so the villagers can now head over and do some jobs. And that's so important because he's had so much idle time. They both have had crazy idle time, though. And Gabby's going to lose a Vil here. But I think she'll actually be okay. That she'll be happy with this because the army won't be distracting her any further. Her finding these berries is really important. She needed some extra food eco. They both do. We've got farming eco for Whocl. But I mean, like, things like boars. Boars, deer, berries. All very important. As Gabby still hasn't let up her pressure on Whocl's little water area, which has been crucial for her. And while Whocl went from 1 dock to 2 docks, it's going to be 1 dock again at home because this is taken out. Don't demo it! Oof. Okay, well, that hurts. I don't actually want to do that. That was not intentional from her. Game seems to be stabilizing now. I think Gabby definitely is started to get her eco rolling, and now you're seeing the 16 on food versus 4 as Whocl just deletes the TC and just drops a new one now, which at this point in the game I completely agree with. I'm not sure if I agree with continuing to fight here. I mean, maybe it was already created before, but you definitely want all your production to be on Gabby's side now. Gabby not really paying attention, actually. Wouldn't it be something if Whocl clears up his water right after he deletes the TC? I don't think he will, though. Gabby's going to land a nice demo. Gabby's still got 3 docks. And I guess what you don't want is you don't want Gabby to fish your pond, but still. I think you just give up here. I don't think you continue to invest. You got to invest here. There's a boar from Gabby now. I was a little surprised that Gabby wasn't making any army, but she's doing it now. Does she have 2 ranges? No, but there's a villager there. Okay, so she's got the archer range. Oh, she does have 2 ranges. Okay, because capture age showed that there was 1 in Q and there wasn't for a moment. Oh, yeah, this is perfect. She'll have archers from the left side. She'll have archers from the right side. And she has the food now to even mix in scouts against those skirms that the opponent has. And the opponent is worse off in every other aspect of the game. This could end the game right here. Especially if fletching comes in, which Gabby has the resources for and just built the blacksmith for. Yeah, Gabby's going to be all over Whocl right now. And it was just so fast from Gabby, right? It was 2 to 3 docks right away. Power of the melee, obviously. Now that villager's actually trapped in here. So she will die. The other villagers will now run. And the skirmishers with Dravidians should be able to defend from this. But then you've got archers coming in on this side too. And now Gabby's adding the scouts. And yeah, this game is over. Gabby's going to take this game. Well executed from her. And puts Whocl under pressure. Remember, Whocl lost the first game because of deleting the TC. So this is the first game that Gabby is like truly earned. But you'd only have to earn 1 more after this. And Whocl's got to be thinking like, okay, well played. God, I wish I wouldn't have deleted my TC in that first game. What's actually funny is Whocl has now deleted his town center in both of his losses. Because he did it here too. But it actually made sense here. Whereas, obviously, before it was a horrible mistake in Dark Age. Gabby, don't flex on the guy. Are you going to steal his farms? I love that. She's going to steal his farms. Hey, those are my farms now. Thanks for paying for them. Appreciate it. Wish you would have got horse collar, but that's fine. Gabby just steals 3 farms like it's nothing and has plenty of scouts with archers, and this is where her main focus will be. Gabby still hasn't deleted this TC. Still being a beast and transporting the villagers over constantly. And even has an archer range down here in the south. I mean, look at her vision, guys. She has vision on the left. She has vision down here in the south. And she's got vision here as well. Whocl doesn't want to call it because he knows how big of an uphill battle it will be. You know, if this game is lost. But I think it's pretty close to it at this point. Gabby could obviously finish it off in the next stage as well. Skirms are very weak right now. Something Gabby probably doesn't realize at the moment. And got a little sloppy there with the scouts. But just trying to do a lot of things right now. The transport is down. Now these villagers are in need of running. And now you're going to see those skirms get picked off. And yeah, this is over. All Gabby's really missing at this point is the castle age. And honestly, if you don't want to continue to produce here for Gabby, I wouldn't blame you. Maybe, just maybe, just delete it and do the same thing that your opponent did. And just make a new TC. These villagers are actually going to be caught out here. So that's good from Whocl. I didn't realize he had that army over there. I think Gabby's just going to give up on these vills. But it's not like it would take you that long to get to Castle Age where you can just build new TCs in Castle Age here either. So I think that's kind of what she's going for. Lost the transport ship, though. Villagers died in that thing. Little Titanic action over there. But, oh, man. More archers. So many archers. So few skirmishers to defend. And another building down here, too. Even a stable. So she had 3 archer ranges. 2 stables. And they're in completely different areas of the map. That's pretty crazy. And there she goes. She'll be in Castle Age soon. So, yeah. If you want new town centers, just collect stone, which she's doing somewhere on the map. And then you can drop a TC on land, and obviously we could see siege. We could see elephants from the Malay. I like how these farmers are just still freely farming here. Just hilarious. Whocl trying to come back on his water. Again, that's pretty unimportant at this stage. Trying to get some protection down with the tower and some farms now around the mill. But more archers heading this way. This is such a cool map. Would love to play it as the Malay. Yeah, I think it's a perfect map for Malay. There's not been many civilizations I would want over the Malay. I think if they're played correctly with rushing with early castle, early feudal, or fish booming, I think they're easily one of the best civilizations, and Gabby gets the win. So, what was her uptime? Because whatever it was, I don't know how you stop it. 8:30 feudal age time. I think players being closer together obviously helped Gabby as well, but yeah, I mean, she got her docks down, just did a better job at competing for water, and the important thing was taking out the transport from Whocl really early. Whocl somehow hung in there. He did a much better job than I would have been able to do coming back and making it a game. And I mean, having a positive KD is also really impressive considering everything that went down. But the early economy for Gabby, or just mid-feudal economy, was so much better because she, I think, only lost 1 transport ship and was always getting her villagers back to work. I think, you know, it's hard to really say much more than that. Other maps I can say, oh, he should have switched into this or he should have done that. But this map gets so chaotic that it's not even about like strategy. It's just about execution throughout the chaos. And Gabby created the chaos and then had a lead and pretty much benefited from that chaos. Well played. I did want to check the resources collected. So yeah, at this stage, it makes a lot of sense. So this here is the worker time. I don't care about that. What is this? Wait a second. Oh, okay. I thought it defaulted to some other things, but like food gathering last minute, no. But just do food collected. Yeah, so it was pretty close for a while there. But then around 20 minutes is when Gabby's food collected just started to fly up there. And that just was because she found some berries and found some areas to farm. And Whocl just was so focused on the water, he wasn't able to do that. Here we are, game number 4. Will we see this go to game 5? This is the last decider in Titans League Silver. Winner moves on to gold, which starts this week. Gabby playing as the Japanese in the red. I think most likely she's just going to go man-at-arm archer, right? Like, I normally associate Serengeti with scouts, but I think if you're up against Chinese can really struggle against early man-at-arm pressure, and Whocl is going to need to defend in that from that feudal age aggression, which can be difficult to do on this map, right? You know, I've seen Chinese multiple times on this map, and I think I've only seen them win once. Because when they're up against Mongols get a lot of aggression. When they're up against, you know, like Aztecs or something, Aztecs can go for a lot of aggression. So basically, the longer this game goes, the worse it is for the Japanese guys. But the cheaper lumber camps, mills, mining camps, and then the faster attacking man-at-arms, all those things are important here. Also, what else is important is you do not want to get lamed if you're Chinese. So I think Gabby's trying to lame. She's trying to find that elephant. There's only one of them on this map. She came forward really early. Whocl obviously saw her because they attacked each other. And I think Whocl is actually looking for that scout now to get another boop. And they're both going to get the bonks. And Gabby's going to try and run over to the hill. But yeah, if I'm Whocl, I take my elephant here. Or at least, actually, no. You want to make sure everything's properly timed. If you have your scout here, there's no way Gabby should ever take that. Or will she? Oh boy. No, she won't get there in time. Elephant's going to come in. Very well played from both players so far. Let's see what Gabby's actually found at home. You could tell that that was a bit of a risk there from her, right? And so in her mind, she also realizes how good the Chinese can be. I think at this point, she definitely has to go home to find her resources, push in some deer. We might see her uptime struggle. I've seen some crazy build orders with the Japanese if they push in all their deer and bring in all their sheep. So I think 19 pop, 18 pop is actually achievable with some really tight build orders. And that type of timing with man-at-arms would really devastate the Chinese. But those timings are eliminated from the equation now that you haven't... It's not so much having the sheep, but it's also having the ostrich and the zebra. So this will likely be more around the lines of like 21 population, which is your standard times you'll see in most maps. Still strong, obviously, and still will be awkward for Whocl, but... And she just didn't find the reward she wanted there. Wanted to get away with stealing some resources. So I wonder if we see Whocl try and open with archers. Because it feels like man-at-arms is expected. And it's definitely going to be on your mind that the infantry for Japanese is really tough to deal with. Normally you want a bit of a wall, so wall here... Wall here. I mean, I would be okay with giving up the front. The Chinese is a civilization that you definitely want to get full walls down instead of small walls, I'd say. Nice little house. That house could actually be a spot of worry later on. Gabby could melt that thing. I've seen it many times with the Japanese. But obviously she'll want to melt villagers more than anything. She looks like she's now going to go out and make a barracks, and Gabby has not found her own resources. She has not found the sheep here. She has not found the sheep here, and she is almost out of food underneath the TC. Now, she is pushing it. Oh, it trolled her. Oh, God. She's trying to push it in underneath the TC, but it was going to go back. Oh, God. She's lamed herself by not getting her own resources. Well, she's Japanese, so I think it could have been worthwhile to maybe even make a mill, but she didn't. Oh, man. Just 2 sheep, and everything's fine. I think she really needs to get loom, like cancel this vill, get loom, and just go up, and hope she has the food. I don't know if she'll actually have it. Like, drop a mill here, so this gets dropped off, and then drop off the food here, and then go up. Yeah. Oh, man. This is really, really poor for her. And some people are going to be like, aha, this is what lamers get. And then other people are like, well, that's sad. But she spent a lot of time forward, right? That's the risk you take. At the end of the day, though, she's still going to have good economy. It's just not the timing that she would have wanted, you know? Now, Whocl has 20 villagers, will be in feudal age in 40 seconds. And so far, it looks like Whocl is going for scouts. It would make sense it would be scouts. And Whocl will be so happy to see that barracks. He'll be like, what? Because normally you're expecting to see the barracks with the flag on it already. And you're expecting to have to quick wall and protect your villagers on these very exposed wood lines. I keep hearing Lucille when T90 says Whocl. Well, he used to be known as DJ Who. And then at some point he changed his name. So I've heard someone say Whocl. But it's just Who. Not Lucille, though. I mean, I don't know his first name. Maybe it is Lucille. I've not been given that information, though. There's a little... Ooh, okay. A little fancy gate. Felt a little unnecessary there. But, ooh, also getting housed hurts really bad. That's a bad one there. I guess the stable's producing at least, but the TC's not. And alright, it's been a sloppy game, guys, but they're going to have to figure this out, both of them. And the resources are sick for Gabby, like really good. As she just drops the archer range. So she didn't have the timing, but she still got a nice little position. Did lose her scout, however. Her scout did show her what her opponent was doing. And the scouts right now are trying to engage before these become man-at-arms. I don't think that's possible. But normally you're going to want a spearman and an archer next if you're Gabby. And then Whocl's immediately switching into a couple skirms to help with that. Keep in mind, no horse collar for the scout player. That's normally something you want off these builds. And that's some epic reaction time from him. And needs the same here as well. And won't get it. Will get it. Well, won't get it. Will get it. Won't get it. Oh, it's going to fight it off. This is a really good fight, actually. Tough against the Japanese, but absolutely a fight that you'll be okay with taking. As long as... I actually don't love it. Actually could have been a little bit better there. So again, the thing about the Chinese is they get more food on their farms after horse collar than other civilizations do. So you really want to get that upgrade. And also techs are cheaper, so it should be more achievable. So the fact that it hasn't actually come in yet is not the greatest. And here comes Spearman Archer now. Double Spearman, double Archer actually from Gabby. And it's not actually skirmishers from Whocl. It's going for archers as well. Now we see double range from Gabby and the blacksmith timing. Gabby's build is looking pretty clean from here on out, guys. As I say that, she gets housed. So the pressure's on for both of them. And mistakes are being made with the pop space. I think that could happen to Whocl as well, because his house will be delayed here, if not completely denied, as the two archers, two spearmen will find some nice value. Meanwhile, though, we have the scouts finding value against Gabby, so she'll lose a villager. And she could lose more if she's not careful, as those scouts run through those trees. Awkward situation for Whocl, who needs to defend. Gabby just skirts right by the TC. And she's going to get away with that. And now she heads to the gold. Still no fletching here for our blue player. But has killed two villagers. But it's been a messy one. And I think fletching is possible here soon. Just a lot of villagers pulled over towards straggler trees. A lot of villagers not collecting resources right now for Whocl. And Gabby is going to take a free archer pick as well. Definitely go for the archers first. You don't even get the villagers at this point. Because if you get the archers, you're going to continue to deny these wood lines. And pressure's on. Whocl. He is Chinese. He is getting fletching. But he's been housed a couple times. He doesn't have the army numbers of Gabby. Gabby's got a lot more structure. Both ranges are producing. Reinforcements coming in. This archer will likely go down. These archers here getting some nice little picks. It's just on the spearman, though. And this is well played from Whocl, who's definitely stabilizing. Has more villagers. Has killed more villagers. Just needs to hold a little bit here. And very good patience with the scouts. Well, as I say it, maybe not. And we see villagers going to stone for Whocl. As Whocl now drops a tower on what is currently Whocl's only wood line. These units here, there's something that Whocl will want to deal with at some point. It feels like now that he's got the tower here, he might be comfortable enough to go chase that down. But look at Gabby. Gabby immediately says, that tower doesn't protect the backside of your wood line. I love this approach. That's so cool, man. Like, you don't see that as much these days. Back in the day, and Gabby's been around a long time. But that was the thing, is like, if someone makes a preemptive tower, it immediately leads to a counter tower, which just denies the whole wood line anyways. It's the issue for Gabby is, would she lose this army? And that's so good. She knows that the army will not come here. And if it does, obviously, that she's okay. So she leaves with this. That's really smart. But can she track this? Well, she's not going to be able to tower at home now, obviously, right? I think for Whocl could always go back to this wood line, provided this gets cleared up by the skirms. The skirms are searching. They've decided to go forward. Who knows what's been noticed here. Oh, man, this is a really crazy game. Oh, but Gabby did notice this. The thing is, though, she will lose this fight. But she knows it. She's going to lose her archers, most likely. The scout can take out the skirm. Her fighting with the villagers was the perfect play, though. Because that's going to give her a little bit more time. Now, that said, the micro for Whocl seems superior here. Very good engagement. But now you've got the tower, and now you've got Gabby here. Whocl reacts. Whocl also defending the gold right now. This is insane. They've got like 3 different armies. And the macro has slipped a little bit for both players, but ultimately it's been really strong. Gabby, though, struggling a little bit at home still. She will lose her force here. This force needs to get value now. It needs to dive. It needs to be aggressive because this is not clean for her. Oh, man, that's some sick dodging, though, with the archers. And now she's in on the wood line. Oh, man, that wood line's disgusting. It's at the bottom of a hill. The villagers also don't leave. Like, they're not bumping away when they get hit because they're stuck. Holy crap. We got 10 skirms on the field for Whocl, though. That's a lot of skirmishers. Tower obviously getting some helpful hits as Gabby's distracted here. Whocl diving against more archers. Gabby's still fighting off with villagers, which is it's a slippery slope, that game. But there's no archers in the group anymore for Whocl, which is good for Gabby, which means the villagers can kind of stick around here a little bit longer. Now we have Whocl considering taking out the tower, which Gabby was taking the stone next to. And Whocl's just like, man, I'm sick of this. I'm going back to this wood line now. This is crazy messy right now. And still anyone's game. I'd say the thing for Gabby that would be really strong is a scout switch here. Everything she's seeing from her opponent is skirmishers. So, and your opponent also can't take wood lines already. So, you know he's going to exposed areas. With these resources, you either save it for Castle Age and go knights, or you try and go skirmishers. Or not skirmishers, sorry, scouts. Really crazy game. I really like how she defended here and how persistent she's been with controlling this area. She's trying to send archers over to the other wood line now, but is there a recognition from her that there's just far too many skirms to be continuing archers? It doesn't seem like it. And then will there be a recognition from Whocl that Gabby's sneaking in on that side? We've got the defense here. This should be fine. But will this be noticed? There's the stable, by the way, from Gabby. I like it. I like it a lot. Could have happened a bit earlier. Oh, dude, she's so sneaky with her army, though. And Whocl reacts right away. Whocl's trying to get Castle Age right now. Might be thinking Gabby's on the way to Castle Age, but Gabby's not. Gabby maybe even go 2 stable here. She's going to go full feudal to try and win this and go into Gold League. Will it work? There's a lot of weak villagers in these groups. The gold groups as well. Wasn't actually as weak as I thought on the wood line as we see another tower from Gabby. The scouts right here could kill so many villagers. It's still going to take Whocl such a long time to get up. But Gabby needs to not show the first scout. So when she shows up, she needs to have at least 3 or 4. I don't think that Whocl has seen this. Whocl does buy some stone for a counter tower. Wants to rush this one down because the towers aren't close enough to each other where this one provides cover fire. And there's a lot of red on the map. It's all heading towards the wood line. Actually didn't buy the stone. He's been mining the stone, and I think if Whocl knew the scouts were coming, would probably want to drop a tower here. Is this a good move from Gabby? As Whocl quick walls around, saw the scouts last minute. That's epic. That's epic. These villagers could die as well for Gabby, now that they're trapped in here. That was so freaking strong. But Gabby, you've got to hit this right now, and Blue, you've got to drop a tower. Drop a tower, you're probably okay. If you don't drop a tower, everything could fall apart. Still some stubbornness from Gabby there as she repairs. And there's the tower. Oh, God. Oh, man. Look at how many archers are here. But imagine if the scouts had gone here first. If the scouts had gone here first, there would be so much more damage. Because you really got to kill fast if you're not going to go Castle Age. I think with that tower being up, UCL's kind of okay. Could maybe make a knight or two. And then the scouts aren't really a problem. And now Gabby has decisions to make. And I think that decision all revolves around just micro. Micro with those scouts. Try and keep the ranged units alive. Bodcanero comes in for UCL now. And he's just going to go skirms. No knights whatsoever. So much idle time. And can barely take wood. These villagers really need to get to that wood line. I'm not sure what's happening. No bloodlines for these scouts, but at the end of the day, they're still scouts against skirmishers, right? I was a little surprised we didn't see some buying and selling at the market from UCL to add a knight from that stable. Could send a knight here. Could send a knight into Gabby's economy. Gabby's economy is looking great, by the way. Look at that. That town center. I don't like this town center at all from him. And this town center doesn't do anything for you. This town center just donates kills. It's still feudal age skirmishers. Sure, you've got Bodcanero, but those scouts can still engage. Gabby knows it. She's still producing scouts, guys. She's still producing archers. She's got bloodlines now coming in. That TC is now denied, but he spent the resources for it. And I think Gabby's going to take this series. It's looking so good for her right now, but she's still stuck in feudal. She's not that far ahead in villagers. That's where it gets so complicated. But the efficiency of the economy is just unbelievable for her. I think you can still produce more archers. Maybe you just stop producing scouts now, and then you save your food. You know this is bad when you have to make a tower in order to be able to complete a town center. And now more villagers die. The knights maybe could have come out here for UCL, but I think ultimately when he made it to Castle Age, he didn't really have the resources to do much. And Gabby had so many archers that he just knew that it wouldn't have really accomplished much, at least in defense. And now the vills start to get sniped. Now the eco KD is 14-4. And Gabby's even going to dive underneath this tower. This could be the game. This should be the game, actually. UCL has nothing. He's going to have 2 towers. And maybe 2 TCs. But 18 villagers have been lost. And it's going to be 19. It should end up being 20 here. Gabby actually is going to make a tower over here as well. And Gabby's played so good, guys. So clean. She has improved a lot in the ladder this year. And the thing about her that I mentioned before is she's just got that, like, killer instinct in her gameplay. And I gotta love the classic style of going full feudal here. A lot of players don't do that. A lot of players hate to stay in feudal age forever. But the production's been wild, man. And the TC will probably go up. But, again, what do you achieve when you have 20 villagers and 2 TCs? And, oh, it won't even go up. Yeah, this is over. Great game from Gabby. With this win, she will move on into Gold League. It'll be interesting to see how she performs there as well, obviously, right? There will be a lot of players who are... I mean, you're just going to be facing much higher competition when you're in Gold League, right? So there's going to be a lot of players who get promoted from Silver who may be favored to be relegated right back down to Silver after their time in Gold. Tower is a little questionable, Gabby. I'm not sure about that tower right now, but I mean, maybe I'm calling it too soon. No, I'm not calling it too soon. This game's over. Disappointed for UCL, obviously. Like, this game's fine. But deleting your TC in the first game, you just donated a win to a very good player. And I think that's what UCL is going to look back to more than anything. This is just a great battle from both players. But losing that first game the way he did set himself up for failure here. Obviously, we don't know how that game would have gone, Mongols versus Gurjaras, but he started this series down 1 game, basically, after how that flowed out. Also, gotta love how Gabby didn't even use the market this entire time. Isn't that something else? In present-day meta, people are using the markets all the time. She didn't market at all. I love it. Couple towers. Just playing open. Do we see a single palisade wall from her? Nope. This is like the type of play that I aspire to have. Really respectable how she's gone about this on this map. Against the Chinese, obviously, which I think are just better civilization the longer the game goes. But Gabby's resources are... She's going to genuinely be able to do everything when she gets to the next stage. She'll be able to go for knights. She'll be able to go for a castle drop, siege, whatever. Whocl is probably sitting here just like knowing he's dead, but if he resigns, he has to accept that he's lost. He doesn't know what Gabby's vill count is, but he's got to know that he's lost a lot of villagers here. And I don't know. I'm not really seeing a win condition for the guy. He might try and get a TC up on gold, but Gabby's not letting that happen. But I think we're just going to have to wait until Gabby hits Castle Age, and then finally we're going to see Whocl call it. Like, he's trying to get another TC up. Because he's been on 2 TCs for a bit. But clearly Gabby knows everything. That's the other thing about Gabby is she does a great job at, like, resource recognition. Keeping an eye on everything. Even using a scout here to look for other resources. Like, she's playing like a beast. Yeah, hope Gabby's internet crashes. Well, if Gabby's internet were to crash, they would restore it, right? Also, if like Gabby's internet were to crash right now, obviously I'm not doing the admin work, but JBR would probably be like, this game is over. So you don't get a victory out of this, Whocl. Like have armor, GG, probably called right after the resign. What a great performance from Gabby. And so, like I said, there's been a lot of people rooting for her. There's been a lot of people impressed with her progression. And so she joins the Gold League, and we'll actually talk about that soon. Now, for those of you watching later on YouTube, it's going to be a separate video most likely, but we'll actually get to look at the gold groups and the platinum groups for the first season. But yeah, that settles it. She's one of the 9 players who promoted out of silver. Had to play a lot of games, had to do it around, the Christmas season and everything too. So players had to stay focused and whatnot. But again, 0 palisade walls. Playing open, playing aggressive, scouts, spearmen, man-at-arms, skirms, archers, light cav would be knights. I mean, we just genuinely saw everything from her in this game. It's just the perfect game to win a series with, I feel. It's just, oh man, it must feel so good to be able to dominate like this. GG.